Okay, now here's the one side of my bridge. I figured out how long I need to make the centerpiece by putting the two bridge pieces at each side of the ravine and then measuring between the two. So I get a little bit of overlap with this piece. So now I have to decide how I'm going to use this piece. I've decided to glue the two together like this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a very thin piece of cardstock and put it in the center of the two so that the bridge will come up. So I'm going to glue that on now. And I marked in the center of this piece of thin cardstock so I can tell exactly where the piece goes. Now I want to be careful I don't glue these two pieces together. I want to just glue it to the cardstock. Okay, now I've got those two pieces together. When the bridge is up, it'll be like this. And then I have the problem of, look, the bridge is sagging and it's going to come all the way down, which is going to be awkward in the game. But I've got a pretty ingenious way to keep the bridge up, and I'm going to show you that now. Okay, now what I'm going to do for the bridge to hold the drawbridge is I'm going to make a mechanical wheel. So I've just cut a strip of regular cardboard. This is just a centimeter in width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to put the blade through the corrugation and snip. And every other one, I'm just going to go down and do that. Okay, so now the strip becomes bendable. So what I'm going to do is kind of bend it. So now what I need to do is I need to make this a wheel. I'm going to take some cardboard, some cardstock, and I have a circular disc here, and I'm just going to trace it. So now I'll cut that out. So now I've got my disc. And what I'm going to want to do is put this on the disc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut one end off and then get it so it's like halfway, and then I'll cut there. So now that should fit on the disc. So now what I'll do is I will glue it. So now I've got the half wheel there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. So it'll kind of be like that. Now I don't have the other side on the wheel, so what I need to do is I have another disc here that I've cut, so I'll glue that on. So I'll just go. A little easier gluing the second one on than it is the first. So now I've got that. So I'll cut that off. And I've got a little bit over the edge there, so I'm just going to trim it a bit. So now I've got a nice little wheel that I can use on the drawbridge. I'm going to make 2 of these, and then we'll move on from there. So here's the wheel. Give you a close-up view of it there. So here I've got my drawbridge, and remember we glued it on with the thin cardstock here. Now, as you can see, the bridge falls over to the other side. That's not very appealing, not going to be very fun for play. It'd be much funner if the bridge was kind of like this, and then the players get it to drop and it's like that. So how I'm going to get it to stay up like this is I use this little wheel that I made. So I'm going to put 1 on each side, and so the wheel will be here, and so the drawbridge will lean against it like that, and so it'll stay up. So that'll do 2 things. It will keep the drawbridge up during play, and it'll be a cool decorative piece on the bridge to add some interest to it. So there we go. We'll put both of those on now. So you know me, I always want to add one last detail. So before I put the wheel on, what I'm going to do is put some edging around the wheel. So I'm going to use these little strips that I've cut. So this is just 1/4 of an inch in width, and it's the thin cardboard. So I'll put some hot glue on that. Be careful with these thin details because it's really easy to burn yourself with that. So I glued it on the edge. So now I'm going to glue the wheel on. And I've marked in the front where the other piece will go, so I know where to put it. Now I will put the second piece on. Okay, so I've got those 2 pieces there. So now I'm going to put the other pieces, so I'm going to measure, so I'll just mark that, and measure it. So I'll do the last piece. Now keep in mind too that when you're doing these small strips, this works because I'm using the thin cardboard. You can see I went against the corrugation so that, I think I mentioned in another video that width, but you want to go against, so you have all this corrugation along the edge for strength. If you go with the corrugation, then there won't be much holding the 2 pieces together, so you want to keep that in mind when you're doing these little pieces. Now let me glue this last piece on. Okay, now so I hope you can see that. Has an edging around it. So that kind of adds to the effect. And I'll put the next wheel on and we'll be ready to go to the next step. So here you can see I've got both wheels on, and to give you an idea what it'll be like, I'll pull the bridge up so that it will be like this. And there we go. All right. So now the bridge is a little plain, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some banding on it to make it look like a more sturdy structure. So I'll do that now. So here we go. I've just cut some half-inch strips. These are just cardstock, and I'm going to use that for the banding. Now what I'm going to do is I've cut a smaller strip for here because I want to cover up this piece here. So I'm going to glue it on. So I glue that on. You might get some strings with your glue gun there. So now I'm going to put some more banding on. Now I'll do that. Put one at the end of the bridge. Put them in the middle too also, and I've marked the places where I'm going to put them. And I'm also going to put one at the end of the bridge before the stairs. So there we go, we got all the banding on. Now what I'm going to do is, since this is a drawbridge and it's going to it's going to be standing up, you're going to see the other side. So what I'm going to do is turn it over, and I'm also going to put banding on the back side. Now normally I wouldn't do this. Never put any detail where you're not going to see, but this time you will see it. So. Now for your middle strips, make sure you line up with the ones on the other side. So there we go, the bridge is completed. And now on the other part of the bridge, I'll put the banding on this also, and I'll be finished.